Today I effed up by buying my wife an intimacy book. I ended up in the emergency room with a vibe stuck in my anus. Basically, our intimacy life has been pretty boring for the 3 years we've been married. We are both on our second marriage as I'm a widower and she's divorced. My late wife was very adventurous and her first husband was as vanilla as it could get. Either missionary or nothing. Over lunch yesterday, we talked about intimacy and how it's become mundane, with her admitting that she's only really ever felt comfortable with ordinary intimacy because that's all she's known. I suggested we get a book for her to read to get an idea of what she might like to try. So we went into town to the bookshop and bought a book which she spent the next 3 hours reading in the bath. Come bedtime, 9 p.m. unusually, I'm dragged to bed and set upon in a very pleasurable way until about an hour and I feel fingers caressing my anus and perineum. Then a finger followed, and to my surprise, the one and only vibrator we have was pushed inside of me. Much pleasure was had until my wife gasped and started to sound worried. Behind me I felt a lot of fumbling, and my wife was sounding worried, then just stopped and said sorry. I asked what had happened. Apparently, the vibe had slipped, well more so been pushed, a little too far, and had gone all the way in. For the next hour we tried to excrete the thing and finally gave up, still buzzing inside. As we'd both had a drink, a taxi was booked, and a trip to the emergency room was made. It took only a few minutes with a speculum, lube and forceps to remove the then quiet vibe from me, and after promising to be more careful in the future, we returned home. This morning I skipped my normal bike ride and have sat gingerly at my desk. My wife just wandered in and wondered if I'd like to get a bigger vibe so it doesn't get stuck. I don't know what I've awakened.